let's take a look at our top selections.
Hi everybody, Mike Beer here taking a look at Sunday's featured race at Aqueduct, race number 8, the Grade 3 Fall Highweight for older horses. They're going to sprint 6 furlongs on the main track. Let's take a look at the field here. 7 horses have entered, led by a couple of horses who just finished very close together in the Grade 3 Bold Ruler last month at Belmont Park. Number 5, Share the Ride, is a slight morning line favorite at 9-5. Majestic Dunhill, the horse who outfinished Share the Ride in that Bold Ruler, is a close second choice at 2-1 on David Aragona's morning line. Stan the Man, number 6, comes in at 3-1 as the third choice. And after that, you get a few bigger prices in this field. So the race really does feel like it centers around, those 3 favorites on David's morning line. Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector before we get into the handicapping here. Share the Ride is a horse who is in very good form right now, and he has speed. He's a horse who wants to be forward in his races. I'm certain that he is going to be sent to race close to the pace in this race, and we'll just see, how well he actually runs in here. I respect his recent form greatly, but he really didn't have any excuse when he lost that Bold Ruler to Majestic Dunhill last time. Not that he ran poorly, but he didn't really have much of an excuse that day. He has since bounced back with an easy win over weaker horses at Parks last time. He's in great form right now. But he's a speed horse. He does have some questions to answer at this level of racing, and he's going to have to deal with that horse that you see on the outside in the pace projector, number 7, Tribeca. Tribeca is not really a graded stakes kind of horse, but he's another runner in this race who comes into this spot in very good form, and he has speed. This is a horse who wants to be out there on the early lead in his races. I'm sure he's going to be sending from the outside, and I suppose that could really work against a horse like Share the Ride. As far as Majestic Dunhill goes, let's move on to him, because I feel like he's a major player in this race, if only because he's just out of nowhere basically found more tactical speed in his last 2 races. He's run well in both of those starts. Came up just short in that allowance race 2 starts back when he was very surprisingly close to the early pace. And then last time, let's take a look at the Bold Ruler replay right now, since we've already talked about that race. Once again, he showed really good and improved tactical speed in this race. He kept right up close to Share the Ride on the early lead in this race. He kept with that horse all the way around the turn, and then you can see him dueling through the stretch here, and Majestic Dunhill is going to prevail when all is said and done. Another good performance for this horse. Now, normally I might be a little concerned about him cutting back to 6 furlongs for this after running 7 furlongs in each of his last 2 starts, but the 6 furlongs with his new tactical speed, it's probably not going to really work against this horse. He can get forward once again in this race, and he can just sit right in behind here if Tribeca and Share the Ride hook up in front of him early. It just feels like a lot of things are pointing to Majestic Dunhill in this Fall Highweight as he comes in, obviously, in very good form. In a lot of ways, he might be the horse to beat, even though he's not the morning line favorite. I think he's a contender. I wanted to try to beat both of the 2 favorites, though, with the horse that we're going to look at right now. Let's look at a race from Stan the Man here. This is a couple starts back at Saratoga in the Tail of the Cat, a restricted stakes race. Just another good performance. This is just, what we've come to expect from Stan the Man. He's very consistent. He shows up and runs every time. It doesn't matter if it's, long or short. He can do anything. He can be on the pace. He can be off the pace. In this particular race, he came from off it. Really strong rally through the stretch. He's going to run by the leaders late to score again. I just like his tactical speed. I like the fact that he tends to show up, and all things considered, is he can run he can go a mile, he can go longer than that, he can also sprint, and I do think he's probably ultimately at his best sprinting, and I just feel like he's found a really good spot here. Not that the 2 favorites are necessarily pushovers, but things could be working against them here with the expected pace of the race and perhaps the shorter distance, and I don't think any of that stuff is going to affect Stan the Man. He's the third choice on the morning line at 3-1. I think that's a very fair price on Stan the Man in the Fall Highway, and I would take that price on him. I have him on top. We'll throw the picks up there. I have Stan the Man as my top pick over Majestic Dunhill. I went 6-3, 5-2 in Sunday's Fall Highweight at Aqueduct. It's race number 8. Approximate post time will be 3:44 Eastern time. Good luck.